Since creation, the people who lived on the banks looked after all the rivers, the trees, all the creatures on the land, and all creatures like us in the water. It was their job, their law, their custom. They are the traditional owners of the land. Not as many of the traditional owners live on the riverbanks anymore. They were forced to move away by the new people to make room for the big farms and towns.
Ow, damn!
Grandma swore.
At least it stopped Auntie talking. You, Bubs, stop your giggling and I'll tell you a story.
Ooh, a story!
Our mob have always lived here, all across the Murray-Darling Basin. My grandma told me, her grandma told her, about what the rivers used to be like. There was so much water in the rivers, it was clean. We could swim from the beginning to the end of our rivers without being stopped by those concrete walls or work our way through those crazy mazes. The new people in their government didn't have laws and customs to look after all the beings. They didn't understand how everything and everyone are connected. People and country were suffering, our mob got crook. Everything needs water to live. In my lifetime, I have seen the rivers go from flooding every 1 or 2 years to hardly at all. The big red gums missed the floods. It got so bad the river didn't even flow out into the ocean anymore. The river was choking. Something had to change. Let's go talk to Grandpa Rat. He remembers and knows all about the government fellas and their laws.
Grandpa Rat!
Hey you mob, what are you up to?
Grandpa, will the waterhole ever get better?
When I was young and deadly,
A very, very long time ago. The 70s, I reckon.
all the people started to realise they'd made a mess of things. So they started limiting how much water they took from all the rivers. In 2007, the Water Act started. The government fellas realised the traditional owners had the knowledge to help look after the waterways in the basin. So they finally asked for their help.
How did they help?
480 Aboriginal people and groups told them how important water was to us all. In 2012, listening to some of this knowledge, the Basin Plan became law.
The Basin Plan? What's that?
Well, it's a plan for the Murray-Darling Basin. It's meant to fix waterholes like ours, help us swim and dance with the rest of the mob, and yarn with ancient red gums again.
Come on, Bubs. I think it's time Grandpa had his rat nap.
Do you think the government get it now?
What? How important water is to us? Well, between us we got 46 nations, maybe more. We're independent. We know how the basin works, and they're actually asking for our input into those water resource plans.
Ooh, yummy.
Don't eat that, grub.
But it looks really tasty.
That's what your grandpa said.
What's a water resource plan?
A water what?
A water resource plan. What those fellas were talking about.
Come on, Bubs. Let's find Uncle Platypus. If you want to know about legal stuff, you talk to Uncle Platty.
Well, if it isn't Grandma Codner, Bubs.
Hello, Unc. The Bubs have a question.
We heard those people, the traditional owners, talking about water resource plans. Do you know what they are?
Sure do.
Tell us, Unc, please.
Okay. They're plans written by state governments and follow the rules of the Basin Plan for sharing water between the environment and irrigated agriculture. They say how much water is allowed to be taken from the rivers and from underground and how much needs to be left for country to begin healing.
One set of rules for the whole place, Unc?
Sure is. So lots of people are working together. It's the MDBA's job
That's the Australian government.
to make sure the Basin Plan rules are followed. But the Australian Minister for Water is the big boss. He gives all the water resource plans the big tick or not. NBAN and MLDRIN.
They're the traditional owner organisations.
That's right. They tell the big boss through the MDBA what they think about the water resource plans, especially whether or not the states talk to Aboriginal people with respect and listen to what they were saying. He needs to be sure the states have paid attention to what they've been saying when the water resource plans are written.
How many plans are there, Unc?
There's up to 36 water resource plans for all the rivers and underground systems in the basin. The state government fellas have until 1st of July 2019 to yarn with everyone and write them. Aboriginal people and organisations are sharing their knowledge and concerns so state water planners understand how to look after the water and all the beings that depend on it. Meetings being organised all over the basin. It's important that mob go along to these meetings to let them know why we need water.
The basin is a big place. Don't know how everyone will find out.
Easy as. Our mob are deadly at tweeting.
I can use the web. Come along, you mob, and get involved. This is your chance to have your voices heard.